to the Nelson City Council meeting, December the 6th, 2021. Brother Steve, could you lead us in a word of prayer, please?
Sure. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, we just thank you for this day. We thank you for the opportunity to come together and meet in the city of Nelson, Lord. We just ask that you would give us your wisdom, your discernment, your understanding for all the issues that come before us today. In Jesus' name, amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I ask that we amend the agenda to add new business 9D, IGA Pickens County Property Tax Collection. It came in the last minute today and we wanted to get it added so we could get everything approved before January the 1st.
There is another agenda we're already on there, so it's in the next page. So
I make a motion that we amend the agenda to add 9D, IGA Pickens County Property Tax Collection.
Second.
All in favor? Unanimous, thank you. Okay. All right. At this time, I'm going to ask Mr. Alberg, his children are going to come and do a special for us this evening.
We are called to spread the news, tell the world the simple truth. Jesus came to save, there's freedom in His name, so let it all ring through. We are the light of the world, we are the city on a hill. We are the light of the world, and we got not who we are. We are children of the day. So wake up, sleeper, lift your head. We were meant for more than this. Fight the shadows, conquer death. Make the most of the time we have left. We are the light of the world. We are a city on a hill. We are the light of the world. We gotta let the light shine. We are the light of the world. We are a city on a hill. We are the light of the world. We gotta let the light shine. Let the light shine. Let the light shine.
Not there?
Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Thank you guys so much. Let's move on to number 6, approval of the minutes for November the 8th, 2021. Can I get a motion to approve?
I make a motion.
Second?
I'll second it.
All in favor? Unanimous, thank you. All right, department reports. Lieutenant Downey? No, let me go back and does anybody have anything they'd like to say before we move on to business? Sorry, Kim.
That's okay. Okay, so my name is Kim Bear. I'm at 111 Nelson Ridge Drive. And I'm here representing some of my neighbors along with the beautiful Nelson Committee. Agenda item, let's see here, 8B, the Master Park Plan route design. And we got really excited hearing about the opportunity to possibly have this comprehensive park plan created for the community. So we went out and got a lot of feedback from our various neighborhoods. And I wanted to share some of the feedback, or at least our numbers. For Nelson Oaks, we had 47% sign, and then it was 100% on the positive responses. For Laurel Lake, we had 8% of their total sign. It's a very large neighborhood. And 100% though were positive on their responses. And then Habersham Way, 33% of their total sign had 80% positive responses. Nelson Ridge had 35% sign and had 100% of positive responses. And then all others outside of that, we had 24% who signed and then 100% on the responses. Of the whole community, let's see, it was 20% of the city and got 96% who are in favor of the comprehensive park plan, which we didn't, of course, get a chance to get to everybody. Feedback is some people work at night, a lot of people were out of town, but I think we would have gotten many more positive responses if we had had a chance to talk to everyone. It was a very good turnout, and then, at least I felt so. Let's see. And then this is our list of signatures, and I actually took a chance to take a look at this, and it's really exciting to see an opportunity for us to have some cool stuff like this and get feedback from the entire community would be amazing. I think it would be wonderful for the Nelson community.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you.
Appreciate it, Kim.
Thanks.
Anybody else? All right, with that, we'll move on to department reports. Officer Downey, if you would come and give us your Cherokee side, appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am. I noted in the report, if you have it in your hand, that is a very slow month, which is a good thing. We had 2 alarm calls, and it was actually at the same address, just a couple days apart. I did want to mention, Ms. Kelsey provided us with a note that was left on the door before any rumors start.
Nobody knows about that.
No?
No?
Never mind then.
Yeah.
We won't discuss it. However, I will point out though that we did come and walk the area next to Laurel Lakes, where the planted pines are at. I guess they're planted. There's several trails that go back in there. It looks like people might have taken a motorcycle. Somebody's driven back there and dumped some yard debris and stuff like that. Anytime anyone drives by there and sees a vehicle there, calls. Because we don't want that to become a new landfill site, right? There was a lot of beds, couches, just other type of debris that was dumped there. I'm not really sure who owns the property. I can look on the GIS map and get that information, but it does belong to someone. So if you see somebody that's there or pulled into that area, I know that Mayor Green has contacted me before in reference to lights being out there at night. And I think that's probably children based on the trail that goes back to the neighborhood. But always feel free to call. That way we can find out who these people are. Any questions for me, comments?
Are you talking about just past Lower Lake towards?
Yeah, so if you're looking at the entrance,
Okay, where all the pine
the
trees
sharp
are,
pines to the left,
just
yeah.
before you get on the bypass?
The mud, and you can see where people pull in
Okay.
there, and like I
Alright.
said, they're mostly just dumping trash out there, but,
Okay.
so just keep that in mind too, if you let your kids out there, that there's debris everywhere.
Hmm.
You're welcome.
Let's see, I'll let you update on the broadband thing, if you don't mind. You can talk.
Do what?
You want that, do we have any news on broadband stuff?
No, that was the stuff that you had talked to them about, you said, where you talked to Ethan Calhoun.
Okay. So I called Ethan Calhoun with North Georgia Regional Commission regarding this broadband piece. There is a phase 1 that the cities are required to sign to be a part of. What that does is it just lets, it puts every respective city in the region in compliance. We need that if we're going to be doing any type of getting government funding for the trails down here, or any other type of grants or anything that we're going to be doing.
It's one of the requirements.
Yeah, it's one of the requirements. However, according to Ethan, phase 2 and phase 3 are not required by the city. You just have to make sure that the city is aware that of the broadband infrastructure that and I want to say it because it's government related, wants to push out. It's part of that. No city, everybody has access to broadband if you need it.
I said I'll be looked at, basically broadband service will be looked at just like any other utility. So
Yeah.
it's, we have a responsibility to make sure we're providing access to stuff just like we would if it was water or
Yeah.
power, whatever.
It's fiber optic.
At this time, I do know that, and I need to speak with TDS, but I don't know that TDS is going to be running optics yet. They may be required to.
I think it was started,
Have they started already?
was it last year?
Okay. I was going to give them a call and just touch base and see where they are with it, but anyway, that's where we are now. I don't know what your thoughts are on that.
I thought we already, well,
We have franchise agreements like with TDS,
Yeah.
but this is a broadband agreement that has to go in the, what's that, the agreement with Northwest
With
Georgia
North,
Regional
it's
Commission?
called a
Comprehensive
work.
plan.
Yeah, it's that with the work in progress plan that pretty much if the things like this that's they a requirement should be listed on all of our stuff. For whatever reason, we went with North Georgia Regional Commission and not the Atlanta one, so.
The idea is to have it available should the city residents want it. It's kind of like making sure that rural America doesn't get left behind.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
it's just putting fiber optics in the ground, and like Mayor Green said, we don't have to implement 2 or 3, but we at least have to be in the plan.
Yeah, the first one.
And that's all I know on that. And if you guys want some additional information, right now I don't see, there's really nothing that's happening according to Ethan, other than just signing that first phase, and that's, each city doing it. Do you know anything else about it, Jeff?
Nothing.
Nothing? Yeah. No. As I hear more, I may invite Ethan to come down and go over it in one of our meetings, so everybody will have information on it.
When do you think we would have to vote on that?
You know, it's just a signature line item to keep us in compliance, so that it was just added in, talking to Mark and Jasper did it as well, because they're part of the one for the Northwest Georgia Regional Commission.
Pretty much, just, for phase 1, you don't have an option. I just have to sign the annual line.
And there's no monetary commitment.
Okay. The next one is the city Christmas event. I don't know how you guys feel about it. If you want to try to do an open house here, I know we didn't do anything last year. If you want to try to do an open house here for 2 hours, so we can love on the community, maybe get a Santa Claus to come in for the kids in our community that's going to be the only one they get to see. So if anybody knows any Santas, I know David, you've got elderly parents, and I know that wasn't your first choice this year. I don't have gray hair. So David's done it in the past and he's done a great job, but if you know one, let us know.
Well, we used to have Santa Claus, but I have breakfast with him every Saturday.
Why don't you talk to him and see if he can do it?
I gotta know what date it is and what time.
Can you hold
He's
the
needed.
11th? The 11th.
The 11th.
Mhm.
That's next Saturday.
Can you get it?
What would be the time frame?
2 to 4?
I don't know. We did it last year, it's kind of a short bit.
Yeah, I was just thinking maybe something right in the, this year I'm not going to do the tents with all the building stuff and things like that. There's just too much sickness going on. And I don't know if you guys are in the school system and all, but it's crazy, so. But I did think that we could open up the city hall and just have maybe cake, cookies, any kids that wanted to come in, and then if we could get a Santa, we would go to get a Santa. What's your thoughts on that? I'll start with you, Nathan.
Yeah, just as long as we ain't, crowding up the building or whatever, I don't know.
So no hugs.
That's why we thought we would make it an open house, that way people could come come. There's no activity, so they wouldn't stay, they would just come and, I'd provide a bag of candy for them and we could provide just some light desserts and maybe lunch. I don't think I'm going to do all the hot cocoa business.
Now, that would be this coming Saturday?
It would be.
How would you get the word out?
Facebook, basically.
It's going to be Facebook and word of mouth. So is Kim Barr still here?
I'm here.
You have contacts for each one of your neighborhoods?
Yes.
Could you get the word out?
Well, should you get it
You
in
can try
progress
pushing it.
tomorrow? Is the last
It
day?
has to be, I think, on Monday for it to be in paper.
Yeah.
Unless you're trying to push it to the next Saturday after that, which I think would be the 18th, maybe. I think.
Or maybe it is the,
I'm just going
Like Saturdays,
Would be
like the
18th,
18th.
I know I can't get him 18,
oh,
because he's got it 3 times at the Dairy Queen at Woodstock on the 18th.
The Saturday's the 18th.
So that gives no another one.
Yep.
not happening.
Do we have a suit?
That'd be a bought one. last year, it's still
Might
not
be able to
wrapped up.
get one, if James, if you can't get your guy, I might be able to get one. So,
You want to go for the 11th or the 18th?
I would say the 11th, that way we're not pushing too close to Christmas.
Yeah.
Let's do the 11th, and Kim, if you could,
Yeah.
if you could call your people and get them to spread the word.
Okay.
Just be an open house with Santa for the kids.
Sure.
Here you go. You know, just a little something to love back on them.
James can get Santa, the 11th.
I can get him
2 to
the
4.
11th from 2 to 4.
Okay, so Kim, it'll be 2 to 4, and we'll put it on the Facebook page, and we'll put it on our website. And then if you guys just know people, if you can let them know, that would be great.
February the 18th.
The 11th.
Oh, no, you're doing, okay, February 11th.
This Saturday.
This Saturday.
All right. I invited Lori to come and go over the progress of 50th Street, or Kennesaw Avenue, and she was unable to attend. So I'm going to go over it really quick. Utility relocation's at 100%. Storm drain pipe is at 75%. Remaining is the structure pipe in front of Mr. Johnson's parcel and west of Kennesaw Avenue on Mr. Howell's property. Curb and gutter is at 90%. Remaining Spring Street closure. With that said, I did meet with them. James and I met with Lori, was it last week? No, time's running together, but we met with her, had a conversation. Barry did not factor in the slope being mowable. So right now, it's a 2 to 1, and it really needs to be a 4. Was it a 4 to 1?
It's either a 4-1 or 3-1.
4-1 or 3-1, but anyway, what that's gonna mean is that we need roughly 50 loads of dirt. If we can get it from Haycock, it'll be a lot cheaper for us, and we can still use splost. And we would just have to coordinate with that. So, James, can you get with Haycock and see if we can get dirt from him? Okay. It would be 50 loads and a minimum of 50. So,
And then I talked to her about this one today too. She said that the construction company will probably have a price to go and regrade it too. Because
she told me she's trying to work it in.
yeah, but she said it's not guaranteed. So
Yeah.
there could be, she said it wouldn't be much, but there could be a little bit additional. And she'd rather us know than have it as a surprise.
She is trying to get it thrown in, but they've got machines down here to do it, so. She did sound like it was favorable for them to be able to just grade it, but I'll keep you posted on that. So the 50 loads of dirt, if you could find out about that, it would just be a lot cheaper than having to haul it from, I think, Tucker, they said. That's where their company's at, so.
I've had somebody contact me about them, said they didn't pull the asphalt up or nothing when they put dirt in on the street they're filling in on, just dump the dirt on the asphalt. And he said that dirt will slide down the hill if they're not stripping the asphalt off.
I asked about that, when James and I asked her about that, she said that's not true. And supposedly they got pictures of all that, and that they did not, they did pull it up.
They pulled the asphalt up.
And they hauled off there was another house, and I guess whoever was there buried a lot of the stuff, and that was the dirt that was there that they seeded. Anyway, that's the dirt that they hauled out of here. It was not something you could put back out. It had pieces of pipe and metal and stuff like that in it. But yeah, we went over it with her. The only thing that she said was, and James and I talked to her, they came out, there's a section of sidewalk that it rained. Because I got a call and said that they didn't pack it. It passed the pack test, the DOT pack test. Josh came out and did it. It said the first 2 inches, because it rained, they didn't pack it. Like, they packed underneath. But they did the test, they said it was good, and they're giving us a warranty on that. They're giving us a warranty. She did say that the DOT would have passed that, and the Cherokee County would have passed it. So, I had James take a look at it as well. And they're gonna give us an extended warranty on it in case there's any issues.
I did have a question today from somebody else in town about the sidewalk, the slope being put in over here, that it wasn't ADA compliant, so I talked to Lori today. It is ADA compliant, it's just an alternate design, they normally use A or B. The design that was used for that one is actually C, she said, which is an unusual one, but she showed that he chose it for a specific reason, but it is compliant per all standards. And
Well,
it is on our plans, and they did do it per spec.
yeah, so what happened is that piece of property on 24 Spring Street sits down in a bowl. Your property over here, on the corner where the Rebecca Lodge is at, is higher elevation. They put a,
This is up here,
up at the top.
this is this one right here.
Okay, well, I'll explain this one first. But they put a, what did she call it?
The flame.
Yeah.
It was,
And then it'll push the water down, if there is any. It'll push it down to that open manhole they have there. So, and then you said, what about the top one up here?
It's an alternate design, but it is an ADA compliant design. It was, it's design C. The one you normally see your design A or design B. This was design C and was done our spec. The bumps, for the blind were put in the wrong place. They're adding another set, but they were put in plate. They were wrong on the spec sheet.
Oh,
So
okay,
the
I know what you're
contractor
talking
doing
about.
it. But they're adding another set of them at the bottom, and they're doing it at their cost, because they want them to be imprinted in the concrete. So they're jackhammering out the other stuff and putting the other stuff in. But it wasn't a fault on the contractor.
And I will do my best to have her at the January meeting, so if there's any questions, if you guys get a chance to go down and take a look at it.
Usually.
Send Josh.
I'm just saying.
Okay. She told me there was no issue, so I'll ask her about sending Josh. Josh can drive. Somebody needs to come and get an update.
I noticed there wasn't an entrance on the curb to another drive that used to be to the Rebecca Lodge and stuff.
I didn't
they're
know.
gonna put that in on the corner, right before they make the round turn down there, what's the name of that, Sugar Street?
Yeah. Street.
They're gonna put it in there.
Which will get, I don't know, that's also another, that'll be a piece of sidewalk that goes up there if we do our plan too, so. Any questions that you want me to take back to her and ask her about?
Just make sure they're compact and everything good.
We did have a conversation with her, James did, and she assured us that they were. And they came back out and did the test on it. There's a test I guess you can do on it. She gave James the numbers, and I don't know if they're in here or not, but
It's not in here. It's just.
I'll get the numbers on that, especially for that one section.
The guy, Josh, you said done the compaction test. Does he work with that company or whatever?
No, he works with the county.
With Cherokee County?
Yeah. He's an inspector for their projects for the county.
He's out here a bunch. You've probably seen his truck. I think it's a silver Ford. It has the county logo
I
on
think
it.
I've seen it, yeah.
Because a lot of times it's sitting at the park, or else it'll be up here.
I think I've seen it
It's several
at
times
the
a week.
city hall.
Yeah. He's out here doing that.
Okay. Any other questions?
Is it on schedule, or is it a little behind schedule? Do you know?
It's a little behind.
Due to the
Yeah,
rain and
3
stuff that we had.
And right away.
Issues, which we do have that worked out. Jeff, did you get the new verbiage put in with that?
It says,
Yeah, I did correct the drawing. It was, I'll talk to you. It's not a big deal. It's good.
Okay, we're good with it, okay. All right. Nathan, you had something?
I was just gonna say, it says 141% of the contract time used.
Yeah, it was due, a lot of it was due to delays with weather, and they were waiting on the utility companies to get their stuff done, because they couldn't start until the utility companies were ready. that was some of the delay, but a lot of it has had to do with the right of way stuff.
When are they gonna start the junction box, where it goes under the road?
If it's stuff on that side, it's once paperwork side.
The junction box already started, it'll be buried, but there'll be that manhole, there'll be a piece at the top of it. I don't know if it's completed, but I did see it. And went down and looked at it, and it's all bricked out, and the pipes are coming in. They did find there was a spring, after all those tests that we went down and did buried, the dye test, he couldn't find anything or find out where that water was coming in. Was coming from, if you're looking at School Street property and you're looking dead on at it, the manhole and the junction box is over here on this side of it to the left. About midway back, there's a spring there. And whenever,
The city used to get the water from there.
They did.
Everybody in town used to.
yeah, back some time ago, way before me, but somebody piped it over, so there was a pipe there. And the water was coming through it, so it's a spring that's moving.
And see, when we tore down the house, we didn't even dig into that pipe.
No,
It was under that.
Well, Randy told me that day that he saw it, just sitting, but it was back behind him.
I'm glad they didn't tear it out, it's all I can say. So anyway, they had to add that pipe, a place for that pipe in there. All right. Miranda, do you have Miranda's stuff?
I have the balances.
Kelsey, go over item C on the finance report. Miranda?
The general fund balance, $766,029.51. Special reserve fund, $60,178.90. That's SPOS 3. SPOS 4, $661,633.63. Again, SPOS 2, $443,800.62. SPOS account 5, which is the new Cherokee one, $602,413.78. The cash reserve fund is $166,511.55. Pickens SPOS 2020, which is the new Pickens, $409,525.17. And the new grant account that was opened is $257,198.36. These are balances as of the last Wednesday or Thursday.
Next up is unfinished business. Equipment replacement for the maintenance department. And still see you.
These are the equipment pieces we talked about last month. The prices for the new mower, the best price was still Nelson Tractor at $14,500 minus the cost of the trade-in, which was, I can't remember exactly, between $6,000 and $8,000, I believe. The other one was for the Bobcat. The price did increase up to $54,800 if we were going to include the bucket, which is about $1,000 difference from what it was prior to that. We did finally receive the second quote after David hounded them, and I hounded the other company for several weeks. And they came in at like $55,800, I believe it's in here, and $55,800. The mower prices at the other locations were similar, but they were all several $100s more, but they were all right under for $15,000. And we will get a trade-in value for the Bobcat. I won't know what that is until they come and physically look at it.
I think we should keep the Bobcat through the winter months. And then
Well, it's like a 4 or 5 month lead time.
Before we get the new one.
Yeah.
We'll
So,
decide when we get it.
Yeah.
They're having a lot of trouble with new diesel, so I would
might be
keep
good.
the other one for a little while anyway and see how it goes.
Yeah.
The mower, I mean, I'd say try the mower.
Yeah. And there was, I did stick it in here. I've been contacted that somebody else had another mower they were selling. There's pictures of it in here. If it's something that we're interested in. It's a, I don't know anything about mowers. Kubota F3 990. Has 100 hours on, it's normally 28,000. They would sell it for 22, so I told them I would put it in here and let you know. It was just more than what they bargained for. I think it has a 72-inch deck.
If you get one that's too wide, you end up having places you can't use it at.
Yeah, ours is, we normally get a 60-inch deck. So Ricky said that'd be good for some areas in town, but it's just, again, I don't know anything about mowers, so. Information.
So there's 14.5 minus the,
Minus the trade-in value.
minus the trade-in value, and that's for the one right here at us.
Nelson Factory is the least expensive. And there's still a little bit of lead time on that as well. Our current mower needs tires, it needs, it's coming up for some routine stuff, so.
Does Nelson Tractor, they service there?
They service our equipment.
Okay, good deal. It's close, I like that.
So those mowers come with those airless tires like y'all bought for the.
No, we got them for Ricky, and that's why if we weren't gonna trade it in, I just didn't wanna buy tires for that one if we're gonna end up trading it in, because we did, Justin Brown actually gave us the contact for the guy that got them, and they were a lot less expensive going through him versus going through Kubota. It's about a $300 difference per tire. But they also don't get a bunch of so.
And they'll get us like 6,000 for the old mower.
I'm thinking it was right around there. He
Well, it'd be nice if it would.
He wouldn't commit for sure because he wasn't looking at it, but he just said that offhand it would be in that range. So the best value for the Bobcat was the Gainesville Bobcat, and they were very responsive. You call them, you get an email back in 30 minutes, they call you back. The other ones, you literally are hounding nonstop. And so David going down there did actually get the final fix.
Do we have any issues with the current Bobcat right now?
Yes, it needs air conditioner, needs a CVB replaced, which the Nelson Tractor here will work on it for routine maintenance, and they'll try to do other things. The last time we had it, it was the system. So I have it for the CV, it's not the whole axle, it's just the boot. But they couldn't get in it. They had it for several weeks, and we just ended up telling them to bring it back. The hydraulic, there's something with the hydraulics that I guess it's a push button to release the attachment on the front isn't working, so he's having to manually, I mean, you can get it off manually, but it's just slowly breaking, and I was told that I think it's been rolled twice. So, it's due for replacement. We're pushing, I think, 10 years on this one.
So we're gonna keep it, we probably do need to replace the steering boot if we can get it done before winter.
We have to-
I'm fine with getting a new one, but I'm just saying, don't trade that until.
Yeah, because the catch
this
with
one.
getting his fix is the last time we took it down to Atlanta, total run was $700.
Did y'all ever figure out how many hours it had on it?
Ricky
25,000, I think.
had looked at it, but we think it might have rolled too. So, because we've had it for 10 years. And they use that piece of equipment more than any other equipment that they have.
25. Ain't no way it's got 25,000 on it.
The hydraulics one, if you can do
I don't know, when did they buy that, 2009?
2012. It's a
Well-
2012.
8 hours a day, and 2,000, less than 3,000 a year. 10 years would be less than 30,000.
That's what's showing on them. Yeah, because this is like 4 months out at least. So,
But you're gonna go through games where they got the best price.
yes, and they answer and call you back and respond to emails.
So when they do it, they can come out and give us a price on it, they can order it, but they can't have our new one, or the old one until they.
Yeah, and little David said we may not want to actually trade the other one in. Do you want to get an estimate on what they would give us for the other one?
Yeah.
Okay, and then we'll decide
Probably keep a month or two,
after we get the new one,
It's probably a lower option.
depending on which option too. So,
Check with them and see what they'll do.
and it's, Miranda sent an email regarding this too, that we do have money in this. We have, SPOS funds to cover, there's money there now. She say going forward, this needs to be a 5-year replacement rotation, so instead of waiting 10 years to do this, it needs to be on a 5-year schedule for our plans, so. There's money there, it's money that actually needs to be spent on one of them, but it's equipment they actually need, it's not just frivolous spending. He's not had air conditioner for the other half, which,
Can we get people to do maintenance on it?
yeah, they said that they would. And it's still getting it out there, so I think distance-wise it was about the same, that they're much friendlier, much more responsive.
And find out if they warranty work on the new one.
I'm sure if they sell it to us, that they will.
I mean, if they'll come out and pick it up or send
Yeah.
the truck out.
So the outcome is that we
We need to
are,
vote, because that's,
yeah, so the outcome is that we are gonna go ahead and replace the mower, and we're gonna go ahead and order the Bobcat and get, the warranty information on there, as well as,
I think the warranty was
the trade value.
I printed out all the information, all the packets that they sent. There wasn't actually a flyer for the new model that they just put out, but the other one was similar. But we printed all the specs and everything. I think it was in the packet from this past week.
It's supposed to be equivalent to what we got right now.
Yeah, it's just they changed it instead of being a,
56.
it's a UW 56 instead of 5600.
And we can go ahead, the air he don't need this winter, but we can go ahead and try to get the CV boot. Can I get a motion to approve the $14,500 for the lawnmower, minus the trade-in?
Make a motion to approve the 14,500 minus trade-in on the lawnmower.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Unanimous, thank you. The next is the Bobcat from Gainesville Bobcat. Gainesville,
It's Bobcat of Atlanta, January.
I think so.
the Bobcat of Atlanta for $55,000, minus the trade-in.
55,000 and getting a quote on the trade-in.
Yeah.
Make a motion to approve the 55,000
Minus the trade-in.
minus a quote on the
That's
trade-in.
trade quote, yeah.
There you go. Can I get so David, can I get a second?
I'll take it.
James, all in favor? Unanimous, thank you.
If the price is ridiculously low on either one of them, we need to just auction at the next auction. You don't want to trade in or whatever.
Yeah.
Or keep it, I mean, you don't have to get rid of it, you can keep it.
We can have two of the storage problem
Oh.
at some point. There's not, they don't have a whole lot. They can still get a lot of stuff in there, but they're just not really having.
Yeah, I've had no luck with it either. All right. Next up is the master park plan for redesign. Do they have copies of that?
There's a copy of quotes in here. I think Susan had talked to, did you talk to Michael Pitt, Susan?
I did, and that's why he had sent, I think it was in everyone's packet, a sample of what he has done for
Yeah, that's,
another city, and he wanted us to be able to see what you're getting for your money, and the outreach and the planning that goes into it. So I know it was in everyone's packet, so hopefully we had an opportunity to look at it and realize there's a lot of hours that go into it.
One thing to consider too, so when I had my conversation with Evan, he was talking about they're going to enhance the drive over here so they can use their doors. James and I met with him, had a conversation. We need to decide whether or not we want to build another city hall and have that encompassed factor that into the route design plan to where we know where it's going to sit, what a good location is that for it and everything. if we're planning on doing something like that. If Evan, best I understand, the property back here still belongs to Rio. And our lines are on their property.
Septic lines, yeah.
He did say to be willing to work with us on the property across the street here that has a septic still there. We'd have to bore underneath the road to get to it. So, I know that when we went to fight literally for our money from Pickens County, one of the things on there was money for government buildings. And that was to either renovate this one because the back end's falling off of it, or rebuild. Be thinking about that. And let's make a decision after the first of the year which way we want to go. There are grants if we decide to build. It's a multi-purpose building, like we could have a nice area for our museum, we could have a nice area for a recreation center, you know, a rec building in case anybody wanted to rent for birthday parties or anything like that. I know that's a big thing with the community here, they would like to have that. So there are grants out there, and Kelsey, she was at a class, and I'll let you.
But you can just
Share what you
stack
know.
your grants if you're gonna use them for things. You can't use the area that we use for government. But if you have the library, you can apply for, I think it was CDBG grants that you can stack with it. And of course you have to apply for it, but it would have to be in our CIP and the comprehensive plan showing that it's something we're planning towards. So we need to have things in our plan if we're gonna work towards actually getting these grants instead of seeing money and then trying to back into it.
North Georgia Regional Commission did state that they would be more than happy to help us apply for any grants that we
Yeah,
need.
they do.
So, and they have a writer and everything that will help write them. So that when we put it through, it's complete. We haven't forgotten anything or left something out. So that would, you know, would disqualify us from getting that. So, that's a thought. So be thinking about that, when we go back with group design, if that's something. I'd like to have a work session in January to discuss all of the, you know, what you guys see your vision is for the city. How you want to involve. Do you want a new city hall? Do we want to make it part of the overall park plan? What would we do with this building? Would we sell this building? You know, it would go towards the new one. So be thinking about that, and then in January if we could, can you see what a good day in January would be? Probably the third week in January, and let's go ahead and set a work session for that, for our Boston.
It could be problematic to sell it, right? I don't know if you could sell it if it's on somebody else's property. Isn't that the whole problem?
The problem would be the septic, but I mean, there's, you know, you got people that would be interested in buying that. But if they did, they would have to work with, you know, if they bought it, maybe they'd buy the other property too. There's options. You'd have to bid it out and stuff like that with all the particulars, and then. But I do think it would sell.
Well,
Yeah, that's
what I was gonna say.
they gonna resurvey it behind here.
Yeah,
Just as quick as walk gets us here.
yeah.
And I'm not so sure our line is on his property.
It is, I have the survey in there.
Well, they
And it
flat
shows-
in there, but you know,
It shows the building on it, the back corner of the building's on it. And whenever they had to replace the fill lines. Because I don't think the original ones were on it from what he said. So it was when Brandy was here and he said that they could put them in, but if they ever have to use the property, the city would have to find another option.
yeah. But we have to lift station in there.
Yeah.
We need to have the water tank properly surveyed too, make sure.
I have it scheduled with-
Yeah.
It is
I have it
scheduled.
scheduled Cherokee survey.
Yeah, it is scheduled.
They're gonna split it on the county line too.
Yeah, when I spoke with him, he,
The 24, 27.
to adjourn.
Yeah.
When I spoke with them in regards to the city hall, to the water tower, Susan took one company, I took another one. I had gotten a couple of companies that handle water towers when I was at the Savannah meeting. And honest to goodness, I can't tell you the name of them right off. You may know yours, I don't.
It was American something.
Okay, anyway, she made a phone call to one, I made a phone call to the other, we just checked to see what it was. The liners for that water tower is right at 130, between 130 and 140,000 dollars right now. To paint it and do it the right way is roughly 40,000. Evan had already done his homework as well when we had a conversation, and he knows that. He's trying to decide whether or not it's better to take that down and put something else up. He said the problem is that they never could get the tower to fill all the way. So there's a water line there, and that's where it's rusted out at. So it's either, you'll have to put a liner in it.
I have to go in there and put in my bank, and put the liner in.
Yeah, so he's trying to decide whether or not he wants to do that or just put another one there. He's evaluating the cost, I think, because you're looking at roughly $200,000 right now just to put a Band-Aid on something. And so he did say that he would get back with us on that, and he's not going to do anything this year, and it probably won't be next year because of dollars that he's already allocated to clean up the property next door.
Yeah, he's got that one building looking good.
Yeah, he's got a roof on there, and he spent a lot of money. I don't go into his personal stuff, but he also has another building that he's having to put in place, and so anyway, he was very forthcoming with James and I, and we had a really good conversation. So he did say he's not opposed to the basketball court being fixed there at all. So that was another good thing. All right. So this can everybody make the January the 20th for a meeting to go over this park plan? Maybe get Michael Kidd in. Let's talk about what the vision is that you guys see for that area, this our area here, and be thinking on whether or not we want another city hall or.
Well, all that can be incorporated once you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Once you decide you're going to go forward with the plan.
Yeah, and you have
Are
to
we
agree
going to
with
vote on
Yeah.
going forward with the plan, and then you can incorporate that, any of that, everyone's stuff.
So
It needs to be voted on.
Okay, so
This
we
was
can
an
vote.
estimate from him that he sent over to do the master park plan.
We can vote on that tonight and then for the master park plan.
Because that's the whole thing, is to get everyone's input.
Yeah.
But he's not, that's part of the work he does, is getting the city's input, the residents' input, and then, presenting it to the city council so that they
Just give us a goal or something to work
Yeah,
on in the future.
exactly.
Instead of just random things we're working on. Just
My thing, I think, is if we have a if we've approved the route design today and have him come in to our meeting, so he has our ideas as well, the council's ideas on what we're looking at for the city for the future, whether we're gonna put a new city hall with the, stuff there. I think having him come in on that January meeting would be good as well.
I'd like to meet with him before he draws anything.
Yes, he would. We're just this is approving that he's gonna be doing it.
Well, the whole thing is, part of the plan is he's gonna get all the input. He'll get input from all the residents. He's gonna do survey, he'll do town halls, he'll do all of that. And that's part of what this comprehensive plan is. And then bring it to you, and you guys can decide, hey, this is what's best for the city, this is what's best for the residents, and go from there. But that's part of that's what the comprehensive plan is to put it all together for you to see what it is before any drawings are done.
Yeah, and does the packet thing that was in the council packet is an example of one that they did for another city.
And my thought is even, so we vote on it and a vote for a master design, which is, I think, something that everybody agreed to already, this is what you want to see. If we do that, still can come in on January the 20th and just have, he can hear what you guys think as well,
Yeah.
you know.
It's the
So,
beginning process.
has everybody had a chance to look over that master park
Miranda
plan?
said that would be paid out of Cherokee's cost, or in the funds are there.
What it says in here that, I know the survey that was gonna be sent out, we're responsible for mailing and receiving it, right?
Yeah, when the mailing that out, it's like $100 cost. It's like sending out the flyers. It's not
Could
big.
we, have a sample of the survey when we meet with them to look, look it over before we send it out?
I'm sure that it could be discussed. I mean, I don't know
And
when
I'm
they
sure
send
that
it
I
out.
don't think
That's
he's
a-
keeping anything from the council at all. I mean,
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, there's.
I'm sure.
No, I know that, I'm just saying, like if we could proofread it or look at it before we mail it.
I mean, and this is a sample, he sent you a sample of what he does, so take a look at that, that's pretty much what you'll
I
get.
think there's surveys in there as well.
Yeah. But yeah, definitely, and you can talk to him about it on the 20th as well.
We have to make sure we make the payments.
Yeah. I'll call him.
That's Thursday.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can I get a motion to approve the master park plan for route design?
I'll make a motion to approve the park plans for route design.
Does that include paying it out of Cherokee's Clause 3?
Yes.
Yes, it does.
What is it now?
$9,980. It's on page 6. And that went through everything that it includes. There's inventory analysis, public input, concept plan, comprehensive master plan, and what the breakdown of each task was. It's on page 6.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
There's one thing, this park down here, the kitty park, everybody calls it. When we get to, which we can talk about at our meeting, but as simple as that little square park is, I'd like to see if we could get a playground equipment company to just come in and redo that and put a new fence up. And in his design, we go from like the sidewalk out, he can incorporate the parking lot. And we could get that rolling before any of the other stuff, you know what I'm saying?
That is actually bigger also than what's fenced in. Because we actually own some to the west of what's fenced that's being used by resident for vehicle storage.
Let's,
Yeah, our property line comes down.
Let me-
to the telephone pole.
with regard, let's go ahead and finish the vote. All in favor of route design?
They did it.
I think we did.
So all in favor, so it's a motion, okay, so it's unanimous. What I can do is, we were talking about that park. The fence has fallen. We have people parking stuff on the city property. I've asked Kelsey to send a letter to ask him to get everything removed and then, maybe get a price for Justin to go put a fence up.
That's what's going to ask about the pricing. I'm not going yet because if we're doing the park plan with Michael Pitt, is that something we want to do a fence now or we want to wait? Because I just don't want it to be like another thing without a paint wall.
You might even just want to wait and talk to him about that in the January thing, you know, I mean, just so that
Because the
if you
fence isn't
start
going to be
piecing
real
it, yeah.
expensive, but I don't
Right,
want,
but if you just start piecing things together, you just don't want to throw good money to bad, you know?
Yeah.
so-
especially if we're going to enlarge the lot at all.
Yeah, it wouldn't take much to fill in some of that down at the bottom to give you a bigger area. So, what we can do,
For big and how many small for big, for bigger.
it's got so much shade. I mean, it's really a nice area to been down there. But, you could if you wanted to, or you could put those nicer picnic tables down there with a pad. We get books all the time from people, that, for playground equipment. I can find out.
And we got a company, there's a company in Pickens County, up in Jasper, that they've been in business for several years, does it, commercial playgrounds.
Let me know, I'll try to get it.
Yeah.
Paid from them.
Southeast, I can't remember the name offhand, they're in Jasper. It's southeast.
We need 3, because it's gonna say, that will have to 3 bids, but, because that'll be quite a bit of money, believe it or not, even,
Yeah.
yeah.
It'd be nice to get something done for sometime next year, the kids can.
Rewind you for a second. Did y'all agree that the money to pay for the equipment replacement would be paid out of the new Pickens Splost as Miranda recommended?
No,
For which one?
For the machine.
maintenance equipment.
Yeah.
The maintenance machine will be paid on this, the Pickens Splost.
Is everybody fine with that? I think.
So I think we said it,
It's
it
coming
was
out of that.
part of the minutes.
I just wanted to make
I'll
sure.
put it in.
On the record.
I'll put it in the minutes.
Thanks for keeping us honest. So, yeah. We can get some, we can look at that. If you know, anybody knows any more places that does it, does playground equipment, because we'll need a couple.
PlayStation, industrial park. Library.
I know who that is. I used to work for the street. I think all theirs is wood.
I mean, if we talk about making it a lot bigger, I mean, you'd have to put some sort of wall and bring dirt in and stuff too.
On this end down here, yeah, you'd have to fill it in a little bit, and then, the fence would come down. You definitely need a privacy fence there.
See, one of our property pins is in his building down there that he's got built on.
You know,
He didn't get no permit.
So do we need to have that property survey too?
I think I have a survey, yeah.
We already have a survey on it.
Because I think, he's been, letters have been sent previously, too.
The next one's just gonna say that if it's not cleared, that we'll clear it and bill it back to him. I know that it's been
And
on.
charge him for it.
Yeah, it's been ongoing for probably about 5 years.
Yeah.
Okay. Next up is gonna be the tag reader cameras for the sheriff's department. They came in and talked to us last month. And gave us the pricing.
Let's see what we got.
It's like 11,000
Yeah, east, I think, for 2.
They're,
before.
they're located, there were 4 locations that they recommended. One was Old Nelson and Ballroom Quarry, one's Canton Road at Kennesaw Avenue, one's Pickens Street at Lock Court, one's Revis Mountain at Bethesda Trail. Each camera is $2,500 a year with a one-time installation fee of $250. Miranda's response, 'cause we were texting about this earlier today, was since this was not a previously planned capital project, we should utilize the Pickens Splost, the new one, 2020, to fund this project. Again, the funding is there. And then she did ask, and this is a Jeff question, will we do an IGA with them, or just agreeing that they're used by both government agencies? We need to also add it to the CIP, recurring capital expense. I think an IGA might be a good idea. I think it might be easier to use SPOS funds if it's,
Yes, and I guess that wasn't here for last week. What are they being used for?
it's just, you weren't here, it's the camera agreement. Mr. Downey could probably explain it a little bit better than.
If you don't mind.
They're tag readers that we have. We're
Like the
trying
ones that go on cars?
exactly like that, but they go on a pole. And so we're putting them in areas where if they're coming into the city or into the county right now, and then we're gonna spread out and go back the other direction. So I think we've ordered like 25 or 20 more on order, and then we're just trying to get the cities involved as well to close in those gaps. It's strictly for investigative purposes, locating people, knowing who's coming in and out of the city when we
Maybe
have a problem.
11,000 initially and then 10 each year. But we also just finished paying we had been paying a $10,000 a year, 800 megahertz radio frequency agreement with Cherokee, and that is now done. So we're no longer paying that as of right now. So Miranda said the funds are there. We're gonna be doing this. She did say to pay for it as of right now with the pick and SWAS, the new one. And then going forward, it's something we'll put in the CIP as a recurring capital expense.
So the county's doing it with other cities as well?
Yes.
Okay, we'll see if they.
Jasper and
I would see
Talk
it.
and Rock.
So I think the county would probably, if they're gonna do an IGA, they'll start circulating ones.
I don't, Marina and I were just talking about
We'll
this
see.
today, so it's not something that's a for sure thing, that was, since we were texting about it for lunch today, we were
With Cherokee County, that was $10,800.
So if they collect funds, like if there's somebody that's done something wrong, they get charged a fine, are we gonna get any money off that fine?
They don't, it's
I
not,
didn't know.
It's not protected.
This is not for, it's not for speed protection or anything like that.
Okay.
security.
It's basically having 4 officers inside the city at all times. So you got eyes that are watching. If we have, you know, say Laurel Lakes gets a bunch of entering autos, we can go back and review that camera footage to see what cars actually came down the road during that time, and it's for investigative purposes.
We use it for animal alerts and for elderly people with
Yes.
dementia and stuff. like
Anybody
that,
that's
too.
missing, I can simply go on my computer and enter them into the database, and anywhere there's a flock camera in the state of Georgia, if that car passes in front of that camera, it sends us an alert. So we've located missing people, we've located, you know, people thought, I think I told that story about the person that jumped in the gentleman with dementia, contractor's truck across the street in his neighborhood on 20, and we located down in Monticello, Georgia. And it was all because we were just following him hitting off these cameras. So there's, I think, 2,000 we have access to throughout the state.
And the information's only stored for 30 days, correct?
Correct.
It's not like a long-term
It's
big.
nothing to do with
like-
Big Brother or looking over anybody's shoulder, it's just strictly for investigative purposes.
And it's just a partnership with the sheriff's department.
Yeah.
Just to-
Sex offenders,
Yes.
people that's got warrants, and
Especially
like
when it's not.
I said, a backlog of anything we need to look up that might have occurred a week or two before.
Moving forward, it would just come out of general fund.
She's not, Miranda's checking with the auditor to see if we can do it ongoing through SLOSS, and I think an IGA might help that. But she said the funds are there either way.
Yeah, we were paying, what'd you say, how much was the broadband?
It was 10,000.
So it was 10,000, so this, it'd be 11,000 ongoing, right? So
So that would
it's
be 10, it'd be 11,000 now,
Okay.
and then 10,000 ongoing.
So it's pretty much, you're just rolling into this because we don't have broadband anymore, so the funds are already allocated for the broadband anyway. Can I get a motion to approve the 11,000 initial from Pick and SWAST for the cameras?
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
James, Nathan, all in favor? Unanimous, thank you. Alrighty. Next up is the city cameras, Chelsea, on
This is the same thing we had last time. They just told me to put it back on this month. There was an increase due to legislation change based on back cameras, which you are no longer allowed to install. He did break it up. I sent the email to everybody with the link that explains everything. I have 3 printout copies in there because it's like 30-some pages. It itemizes each item and explains what's what. He did go back through, I asked him to go back and break down the quote. He said they don't itemize per line item because of competition issues, but he did break it down like on a job site basis, but he said there will be repetitive charges in some of these. So if you went and did each job like one at a time, that would be the cost, but we wouldn't be doing each job separately, it would be one time. They don't put their numbers out there for each line item due to competition. But it was a difference of like 3,000 from the last time. I think originally when we did it was like 13 something, and it went up to 16 due to government interference, basically.
You didn't approve it there, too.
We did, and then, because he told me that that was something that was in the works, he just didn't think it would come down the pipeline for another year or two, and it was done within a couple of weeks. And he said, I mean, we could put those cameras in, but if we apply for grants or any state or federal funding, there are going to be line items on there specifically asking if you have any cameras, and if you do, you will not be eligible, which it explains in the printout and the email link.
When did we find out about power and this and that here at the police station? We haven't figured out anything about it.
Not yet.
But we did
Impulse,
confirm that we could do a standalone pole, correct, if we needed to.
Impulse, so they can probably put a pole out there. So we just need to decide if we're gonna put a second pole and own the pole, or if we're gonna do solar, or if we're gonna have some type of small building there. At some point, we could house our equipment, even if it was a shed, we could house our equipment in there. We just need to decide which route we're going. This quote is not including that property, which it didn't include it the last time either.
So they won't get our dumpsters covered.
No. Nope.
Now, what is this quote going to add to then?
It changed the cost of the cameras and nothing but NVR, which, because the manufacturer, they're no longer allowed to use the manufacturer that they had previously been using. And this is the same, the first one's the exact same one we had in here last time.
This one here.
That was if they just broke it down and we did each site individually, and you had to come out separately each time to do it, because you said like they're gonna have like a lift, lift or something.
Yeah.
But he had to put that in each estimate because they would be using it. But if he's already out here doing all the installations, it only had that out one time.
Okay.
So if you go add up all the estimates together, it's gonna be higher than what this estimate is.
All right. I know we talked about this, probably talked it to death, but can I get a motion to approve the $16,348.53 for the city cameras? Based on
Government interference.
government interference.
Why should I have
How many we get?
I'm thinking it was like 8, but I'm
Yeah.
going from memory. I honestly don't even remember, because I'm doing this so long. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe 9.
So there'll be a change in that,
1,
so.
2, 3, 4, 5.
6, 7, I'm counting.
I think there's 5 here, because the other ones were the ones that were going to go to the dumpster, but they're moving some of them around that we already have as well. So, and we have, yes, we can, because we already have them. Because we have one now in the community building that was disconnected, because we currently have 17 cameras, and we only have a 16-slot system. So that one can be turned back on. And we're going to redirect one of the ones at the bathrooms, like where the vending machine is, to point out. We'll have one that's behind there. I'm trying to remember. This was literally months and months ago that we initially did this.
There's one that says the solar phone.
That's on a different one. That's why it's not, like if you look next to it, it says 0.
If you look under labor, it tells you, it says move one of the cameras to the other side of the vending machine. Stretch the cable from the trail part to the camera on the pavilion. Install one camera at the pavilion, install one camera at the house by the trash truck, and wireless connect it to the pole by the basketball court. Fix the basketball court radio link, install 2 cameras behind the backstop of the basketball field, one VF looking at the pavilion and the other looking at the field. Install one VF camera on the maintenance building to look at the intersection. Install 2 cameras on the new Amicalola pole by the community center and connect the Amicalola pole wirelessly to the backstop radio. install a 32-port NVR, and set up all of the cameras on the new NVR. That's what the $16,348.53 covers.
The one you were talking about for the dumpsters is the last quote that he sent via email the other day, which is totally separate from this, because that one came out to like $9,400, I think it had been $85 last time. But that was to do the big giant solar pole, the big solar panels that were like 4x4.
That's one camera.
Well, I think it was more than one, I think it was two, plus the ones that are there, if I remember right. But that's if you go solar.
If we put one at the dumpster truck, or the garbage truck, whatever you want to call it, then we're looking for somewhere to park that now, ain't we?
Yeah, it can be taken temporary, yeah.
I sent somebody put garbage in one day last week.
And they do, which is also a security issue under the current circumstances.
So can I get a motion to approve the $16,348.53 for the city cameras to send out?
I'll make a motion.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor? Unanimous. It will.
Concern is, because this started at like 11,000 and it's
Yeah,
just,
we're concerned about the same thing. All right, next up is new business. Franchise agreement with ETC. 9A.
this is the same exact one, I believe, that we had prior, and it just went out, so I just sent a new one. And then we sent it to Jeff,
Fine.
Can I get a motion to approve the franchise agreement with ETC? We're just gonna give the city back some money.
Make a motion to approve the franchise agreement with DTC.
I'll second it.
James, all in favor? Unanimous, thank you. Remind me, I'll sign. Hazard mitigation plan. 9B.
it's just a yearly update that the county does, and it's a requirement. Really, it's like a 5-year thing. They changed the plan, and so the new plan for this year is behind it. It lays out what each county is responsible for. We don't have a whole lot in here. We had to go to the class last year and register for some things, if we did have to go online to update some system, which I have to find login information. But we do have access to their stuff. But it's just an ongoing agreement, and I have the 300-page version is in there on the countertop of somebody who likes tonight.
So this is something that we've had in place for the city. Can you look over that, Jeff?
No, but I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure there's nothing illegal on the fine to me.
Yeah, the
300-page hazard mitigation plan.
County, I'm not.
It's not like we can't have it, so.
There's something in here about making the mayor shovel snow,
I'm okay with that.
but
Can we add-
it'll be all right.
Can we add that?
I'm gonna nominate one of you guys.
Yeah, you can delegate that.
There you go. So, can I get a motion to approve the hazard mitigation plan?
I'll make a motion.
Susan, and second,
Second.
Dave, all in favor? Unanimous, thank you. Demolition bids, next up. Thank you. In order, demolition bid receives 12/6/2021, 10:13 a.m. Each one of these will have two. One will be for the Rebecca Lodge, and the other will be for the police building. First one is from Anything Concrete, AC. And demo of the building at School Street, which is the Rebecca Lodge, $21,000. open in case anybody wants to look at them. Received at 10/13, 2006. This is for the the demolition of 352 Blue Ridge Avenue, the old police building, and it is $23,000.
Is that from the sign company?
Same company. These are all, I'm gonna do them in order. Each one will have two. This is from Wrecking Corp of America.
Wrecking Corp of America, Wrecking Corporation.
Demolition for, which one is this one for? Which building is this one? Oh, there it is. School Street, $63,500.
The difference.
This is the second one for Wrecking Corp of America. This is for the removal of the building, old police building on Blue Ridge, and it is $49,000.
I think that was Chad. He said there's an addendum on what is on the last page.
This is, ICG, Chad Jenkins, and this is for 352 Blue Ridge Avenue, and it is for, this one is 32,453.40. 32,453.40.
It's based on, it could increase slightly if there were additional loads. That was the addendum.
Okay.
Because I know that I've had a couple of people say that the concrete on the police building is very, very thick.
Pricing for this project is based on approximately 20 loads of concrete and 18 loads of construction demolition. Additional loads of C7D debris will be charged at a rate of $528 per load. Additional loads of concrete will be charged at the rate of $330 per load. Shoring supports if required or additional costs if needed. ICG will provide a separate estimate. And this is for the Blue Ridge Police Building.
Which building was it?
The police.
Yeah,
I think it's probably on both of them. The estimate. Yeah, she's doing a lot now.
This is Intelligence Contracting Corp, ICG, Chad Jenkins, and this is for the Rebecca Lodge, and it is for $30,962.20. Pricing for this project is based on approximately 20 loads of concrete and 12 loads of construction demo. Additional loads of the debris will be charged at a rate of $528 per load. Additional loads of concrete will be charged at $330. Additional
So that's the estimate, that ain't a bid.
Well, say as long as it doesn't go over whatever the.
I don't know where he's coming up with concrete now, because the concrete state.
No, they're gonna tear it out on that one.
Just
No, not the community. The community building had it stand.
Okay.
Right, yeah.
The police building. No, this is for the community. It's similar, the police one was 2,000 more than that.
This is the The next one is,
3962.
30,962.20.
this
Sorry.
This is from Holcomb Grading, and this is for the demolition at School Street. That's a lot. Not crazy. $22,295.
22295.
How much?
22295.
That's too high.
Holcomb Grading, this will be for the police building. $18,000 for the police, demo of the police building and removal of all debris. This is for Blue Ridge, the police building, Southern Demolition and Environmental.
Is this the bond turnout?
Okay.
Well, is this from the police building?
This is the police
Yeah.
building, yes. Yes, sir. Blue Ridge. $27,100. This is for the community building on School Street. $35,900.
I think you all know some of them are not good, and then the paper and have it on the website, so some of them I'm not familiar with, but some of them are ones that are saved. These are in there.
They take it.
You're gonna have it with that tape next time, then you're gonna do it.
Oh, really?
Let's see what it is.
Fill it around. Okay.
Yep, you go tomorrow and get their letter opener.
There's several in there.
I'm gonna need it for the, you can go ahead and start, that would be super. This is, again, this bid is from, Complete Demolition Services. And this is for 325 Blue Ridge, old police building. $25,000. So that's the police building, 25,000. This is Rebecca Lodge, and it is $25,000. Did you write those numbers down? You want to go over them one more time?
Anything community building, 21,000, police building, 23,000, Wrecking Corp of America, community building, 63,500, police building, 49,000, ICG, community building, 30,962, police building, 32,453. There is an addendum for additional debris if it goes above however much they allow. Holcomb grading, community building, 22,295, police building, 18,000, Southern Demo, community building, 35,900, police building, 27,100, complete demolition services, community building, 25,000, police building, 25,000.
Hawkins would be your cheapest one.
You're the first one, and
So you've got anything concrete and Holcomb grading. The difference is 21 versus 22,295 for the community building. The police department, the police building was 23 for anything concrete and 18 for Holcomb grading. So
you don't have to go with the same contractor. That's when each bid's separate, just FYI. Because that was asked when we did that with the asbestos report.
Do they want to take a look at these? Okay.
Well, the other, all of them are all encompassing except for that one company. Everyone else is going to do the whole thing.
There was two that had it in.
That was both ICG though.
Yeah, but those were both ICG,
Yeah,
correct?
and he told me that it was in there just because they weren't sure about the amount of debris, I think.
So make sure apples for apples, right?
Yeah.
So the two lower ones, that's not like crazy. You've got complete demolition is 25 each. Would be the third one. So anything concrete, the lowest would be Holcomb grading, and then anything concrete, and then complete demolition
As a whole.
as a whole. If you wanted to do it separately, then of course you've got
Yeah.
anything concrete is going to be the lowest for the community, and you've got Holcomb is the lowest for the police building.
Anything concrete, the local company too.
My brother-in-law. Yep, I'm not voting, so. Well, it's actually one of the guys he works with, it's not him, because he does something else. But he was the one that came out and brought their packet back, so for transparency reasons.
Didn't they
yes.
they did something else,
They did.
President? They
They
did
did one
Spring
in the
Street.
hole.
Yeah, they did Spring Street, so. Nathan, you want to call?
Waiting, y'all never talk about it or whatever, I'm just.
I mean, do you have anything you want to add, or?
No.
Have we used any of these people before? I usually we use.
We've used anything, well, kind of used anything concrete, because I think I know my brother-in-law's associated with him. I don't know if it was the same company that did the bid or that one, because I think it might have gone through Ledford. But he would be working through and probably doing the work, was my understanding. All the paperwork, as long as everything's on file, I think it's fine. The other one was Holcomb grading, which is Bubba Holcomb, who we use all the time for stuff.
Do you have any questions?
Just pulled out our concrete.
Yeah, he was in here today.
Okay. Do you have any questions? regards to these? James? Susan?
No, I think they got it.
Okay. So, who do you guys want to go with for, the community building?
What about Lil on the community building?
Bubba on the community building, he's at $22,295.
Well, actually, he's cheaper on the police building.
He is.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right, he's cheaper on the police building.
Yeah. So community building be,
It's $1,295 difference, so $1,200 difference. Martha made a suggestion that we go with Bubba Holcomb for everything.
Well, he'd be already be here, see, that'd be fine with me.
they're still cheaper on the long run.
Yeah, he's the lowest one. He does good work. So. I get a motion to award the bids to Holcomb Grading for the community building at $22,295, and we'll go with that one first. They're separate.
You can do them together if you want to.
Okay. And the old police building at $18,000.
I make a motion to go.
Jane? Okay. And can I get a second?
I'll second it.
Okay. All in favor? Unanimous. Thank you. So let the record show that Holcomb will be doing the demo for both. Okay. All right, next up is the IGA with Pickens County property tax collection. Kelsey's been in contact with Daniel Reeves, I have as well. We've asked them to collect the fire tax as well, the same as,
They're verifying the fire tax. Sent the email to Jeff, they think it will not be an issue. So as long as it's not an issue, we should be fine.
yeah. So rather than hold it up, can I get a motion to approve the IGA with Pickens County property tax collection
This is for $4 a parcel.
for $4 a parcel? If they include the tax collection for the fire tax as well.
So we won't have to pay city tax here, we'll just pay it.
It would be one bill, just like we did
Be
with
one bill,
Cherokee.
just like with
Currently,
Cherokee.
on the Cherokee side.
Well, this won't have nothing to do with their car tax, they're separate.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was just
This is
that-
just property tax.
making sure that they could collect the fire tax. We have two line items.
Right.
Because the fire tax agreement we have with Cherokee actually lowers everybody's homeowner's insurance, just in case everybody didn't know that. So we need to get it collected, and if they can't collect it, then we would still have to bill and collect it, so it would make this a moot point.
Yeah.
But as long as they can collect that, then,
And they don't think there's an issue with that one.
Yeah.
So, and they're trying to rush it through, so we need to vote on the IGA so they can put it in and be completed at the end of the month for the county. So if they can't collect the fire tax, then Kelsey, I volunteer her to do the connection.
volunteer to take the slap on the.
I make a
on
motion,
everybody doing it.
we go ahead and do it.
Can I get a motion to approve the IGA with Pickens County for the property tax collection?
That's it.
All right, James and David. All in favor? Unanimous, thank you.
And this was contingent on the fire tax, right?
Yes. Yes, it's because otherwise you get rid of it.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, can I get a motion to break off into executive session?
Let me say something. Go ahead. This is just allowances, so we've already had it. It doesn't really matter to me.
This is about the bonuses that we do every year for the employees, so we can do that out here.
Sure.
And we've done it out here previously.
Yeah, I don't
So
care.
it being an issue.
It's on the budget operating.
Yeah, it's in the budget already, so. I know since I've been here, we've given the city employees,
What I'm asking about it.
$300, and which is, I'll say that's kind of cheap, because we haven't given them really anything. We don't pay insurance or anything like that. We are doing a stipend now for them, which I commend the council for approving that, but,
It's for the full-time.
Yeah, it's for
Part-time.
full-time only and part-time, so can I, get your thoughts on that. So are you good with doing the $300, Nathan?
What was, you said it wasn't enough, what was you wanting? How much?
Better on the spot, Nathan.
Nathan, I'd like to do 5, but that's just me. I think these guys have gone above and beyond. They don't get hazard pay, and they've done a lot for us for, with COVID and, you
It's
know.
been extraordinary times.
It has been, so, that, my recommendation is 5, but,
It's fine with me.
okay, so Nathan's good with 5, Martha? Martha's good? All right, Nathan and Martha said they were good with the 5, are you good with the 5?
I'm good with it.
Susan? Okay. So we vote on this, or we just,
I will vote on it, so I get it in
Okay.
there.
we get a motion to approve the bonuses for, the full-time employees, for $500?
Make a motion to approve bonuses $500 full-time employees.
I'll second.
All employees, that's what we normally do.
All employees.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because otherwise the other ones didn't need it.
Yeah, we don't have that.
Council members, do.
I'm fine with that. Honestly, don't need to do a raise. Several of that.
Can I, so all in favor of that? Unanimous, thank you guys. David and James. I'd like to go ahead and get those out as soon as possible since we're.
I can run a special check for it, I just don't want to do it until it was done.
With that, can I get a motion to adjourn this meeting?
Motion to adjourn.
Second. Martha, David, thank you. All in favor? Unanimous.